story is bananas. If you work for a law firm or you are a lawyer, you've got to hear this. Your managing partner needs to hear this. Any firm that's thinking about using AI needs to hear this story. It involves one of the largest personal injury firms in the country in a lawsuit against Walmart, and federal judge ended up sanctioning 3 lawyers in this. And the craziest part of it all, they weren't using ChatGPT or any of the generalized products. They were actually using an AI that was specifically designed for legal work. At the end of the day, this really wasn't a technology failure. This was a failure of management and how they use technology. Let's get into the details. An attorney at a major personal injury firm was preparing a filing for federal court. To help draft the motion, he used the firm's internal AI-assisted legal drafting platform. The AI produced legal authorities that appeared to support his arguments. The motion was finalized. Other attorneys reviewed it. The filing was eventually signed by everybody involved, and it was submitted to the court. There was only one problem. Several of the cited Wyoming cases didn't exist. The quotations were inaccurate. Some of the authorities had simply been invented by the AI. The lawyer who relied on the AI tool most directly received the most significant sanctions, including revocation of permission to even appear for the case and a monetary penalty. The supervising attorneys who signed or approved the filing were also sanctioned and fined. Some of the lawyers didn't create the false citations, they didn't invent the cases, but they did sign the filing. And with that signature came responsibility, and that's an important lesson. You put your John Hancock on something, it means you did the work. Remember, the AI can't sign it. I think what's important in this case is understanding what actually failed, because the tools are designed to operate a specific way and save time, increase productivity, but if they are treated as infallible or beyond their capabilities, you're going to have problems. So let's break down what really happened. Obviously, the first problem was the AI made up the case, because large language models don't actually know the law the way a legal researcher does. They predict text that is likely to come next, and when confidence and correctness diverge, you can get convincing but false answers to your problems. And this is a known limitation of today's AI systems. Even though you use an AI that's specifically geared towards legal work, it doesn't mean that all of the limitations of AI systems suddenly disappear. Second failure was that nobody actually verified the citations. Every legal citation should have been checked against original sources, and of course that didn't happen, and that's where failure 3 happened. There were multiple layers of review in this law firm, and everybody involved missed that there were problems with the filing. That tells us something really important. The issue wasn't one careless click. The review process itself wasn't designed to catch any of the AI-specific errors. Many firms already have procedures in reviewing work prepared by junior associates and paralegals, and work that is prepared and created from any technology source should also have some level of scrutiny to verify it's correct. And people who are responsible for doing the reviews and putting their name on their reviews actually didn't carry out the reviews. This leads us to the fourth failure, with the firm moving faster than its technologically than its governance allowed. The problem was governance hadn't fully caught up to the technology that they deployed. So the technology changed, but the workflows and understanding the people's responsibilities didn't keep up. And that's when risks entered the picture. So I think the judge's appreciation of what happened and his opinion is important, because he didn't come out and say that he was anti-AI or that he didn't expect or he was going to make AI verboten in his courtroom. He did understand that it was the lawyer's responsibility to make sure that their AI use was responsible, and that the lawyers were the ones who were putting their names on the work products, and that their over-reliance on AI without having the proper procedures was actually the problem. So the judge actually was very restrained in what he did and understood that who was actually responsible for the problem. Technology can assist with the work. It can't replace professional responsibility and judgment. And that's an important distinction. If hearing this story makes you think maybe we should just ban AI altogether, I understand that reaction, but I don't think it's the right answer. History tells us the firms rarely gain an advantage by avoiding transformational technologies. They gain an advantage by learning how to manage those transitions well. How can we avoid this in the future? And I think there are 3 rules that every law firm should adopt about AI immediately. The first rule: AI drafts, lawyers decide. We never should treat AI output as final work product. It's a draft. It's the first thing we create before every filing, every brief, every citation, every legal argument requires an attorney to review it. Second, trust but verify. Every case citation, every quotation, every statute, every factual assertion, go back to the original source, make sure that they are correct. If you can't verify it independently, it doesn't belong in your filing. With all of the tools that are available today, either simple prompts can bring back every assertion that's made in your filing and can give you an assessment of its factualness and give you a priority for doing your research and your review. And rule 3, you should create AI policies before you create AI prompts. Most firms are asking, what prompts should we use? What tools should we use? And I think they're asking the wrong questions. The first questions that you should be asking are, who is allowed to use AI? For what purposes? Using which tools? With what review process? And how do we protect client information? That's governance. And governance is what keeps small mistakes from becoming front page news. So why the firm survived is really the interesting part here. The sanctions focused on the lawyers responsible for the filing, not shutting down the firm's use of AI. The court recognized that individual attorneys have personal responsibilities when they sign court documents. The firm also took corrective steps after this error came to light, including acknowledging the problem, withdrawing the filing, and compensating opposing parties for certain costs and strengthening its internal AI policies. To me, that's the big takeaway. I think that the firm came out of this very well considering what the problem was. I think there's a responsibility that the firm had to make sure its employees are competent users of technology. And in this case, it's obvious that its employees were not. So the issue was that the controls mature enough for how the technology was being used. As AI becomes more common, I expect courts will increasingly look at whether firms have reasonable policies, training, supervision, and review processes in place. The expectation won't be perfection, but it will be diligence. In the future, I think courts are going to be more aggressive about making sure that firms are doing a good job of making sure their employees are competent in the technologies they've been using. So in closing, technology has always changed the practice of law. Electronic research replaced printed records, email replaced letters, electronic filing replaced paper submissions, and AI is just the next chapter. The firms that thrive won't be the ones that ignore it, and they won't be the ones that trust it blindly. They'll be the ones that build systems where technology supports good judgment instead of replacing it. In this series, that's exactly what we're going to cover. We'll talk about choosing the right AI accounts, protecting client confidentiality, creating practical firm policies, training your team, and identifying the workflows where AI delivers the greatest return. Because the goal isn't just to use AI, it's to lead your firm through one of the biggest technological changes the legal profession has seen in decades. If you like this video, I'm Marty Milligan. You can find out more about me by looking down below. If you're a firm that's thinking about adopting AI and you want somebody to talk to about some ideas off of, find out just where you are and do some evaluations of how ready you are, you can schedule some time with me at the links below in this video. Thanks and have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.